welcome to this episode of Wild Grief Love. I'm so happy you're with me today. On today's episode, I am going to do a little Q&A. I got a question from one of the listeners through the website, and you can always send in questions through the comment form on the website, should you have any. And if I'm not able to answer them, I may bring it up with Eve, our trainer. Today, I have a question from Barbara, who she asks about dogs and about dogs remembering. What she writes is, do dogs remember? Because if they live in the moment, do they really remember? And Barbara, first, thank you for listening. Thank you for the question. I really appreciate that. And I have an answer for that. And I do have a little couple of stories regarding that. First, I think it's kind of two different things. I think dogs, they do remember and they do live in the moment. And I think they go together. And I can give you an example of from all my years as a dog walker, as a dog sitter, I meet the pet for the first time with their people, with their owners. And then from then on, I'm coming in on my own. I'm either going in to walk them or I'm going in to be their company for the evening, for the night, and they're happy to see me. And in both cases, they remember me and they're happy to see me because they know that I am there for that particular reason. They're going to get a walk, they're going to be able to get around the neighborhood, or I'm going to be there for the evening to keep them company. I'll be feeding them dinner. They're happy to see me. And in all of those times, all of the years that I had been a pet sitter, going into people's homes after meeting the dogs for the first time, I've never had any dog be aggressive to me. I have taken care of and walked some really big dogs, dogs that you would think are ferocious, and even the little dogs that you would think are ferocious, but none of them have ever been aggressive towards me going into their home after meeting them the first time, let alone some who I've walked for years and going in there for maybe the 100th time. So they do remember and they are happy living in the moment then. And I have another story about my Millie. My Millie is a golden retriever. As you may know, I've talked about her on the show before. Millie is 5 years old, so this was about 4 years ago when she was getting spayed, and I don't know, maybe she was 6 months old. So yeah, about 4 years ago, she had been to the vet before as a puppy, getting that well puppy check. We started her on her shots, and she had seen the vet a number of times. And we went in to drop her off in the morning. Everything was fine. Picked her up in the afternoon. I sat on the couch with her. My sister talked with the doctor. Everything went well. He's a wonderful doctor. Everything was great. And we took her home and then we went for the checkup. And when we went for the checkup, she turned into Cujo. And I kind of think that was from Millie not liking she was woozy when she came out into the waiting room and sat on the couch with me there, waiting to take her home while the doctor and my sister talked. She came home, she was a little groggy and she just slept it off. And there's always a little bit of hurt, after the anesthesia wears off. And I know that she didn't like that, but she was a tough dog. She bounced back and was her normal self, just like the doctor had told us that she was going to be. But that next visit and every visit after then, she hates him. And at first it was very embarrassing for me because she hates her vet. But we started seeing the other associate there who is a wonderful vet. Anytime Dr. Chris walks by, she turns into Cujo. I think that is just that memory, that sense memory that he brings up in her. And I could work to change it, but we see the other doctor. And I think the biggest thing about that is she is happy to be there. She loves Dr. Dobkin. She is good with us in there. There is that one thing that takes her out of that moment when she sees Dr. Chris. He did his job perfectly. My Millie does have her a little bit of a oh, she has a little bit of attitude and she's very protective of everything and including herself. And, she's a dog and she has her quirks. But I think that is caused from her remembrance. So she lives in the moment until she sees that and bam, she has that memory and she does react with it. Dogs, they do have smell memory, they do have sight, they do have hearing. And all of those things play into memories. And I don't know the true science behind it, but I have Eve coming on the show next week. And with all of her years of training and raising guide dogs, I'll see if she has anything more to add. But I think that, yes, dogs, they do remember and they do live in the moment. They do live in the moment until something triggers them. They really don't care what happened 2 weeks ago, unless it's something that they perceive really bad. All right, now I want to say thank you for joining me. I have Eve coming up next week. If you have any questions for Eve, feel free to send those in. And I have Dr. Dobkin coming on in a few weeks. We're going to be talking dog nutrition. If you have any specific questions about dog nutrition, send them in. I may be able to ask Dr. Dobkin about those and get any questions about what you're feeding your dog that you may have. Once again, thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I know that on iTunes, when you do subscribe, I get a notification on my phone every time a new episode is released. All right, ta ta.